If you're starting to see wilting soybean plants, discoloration, and death out in the field, make sure you're going out into the field to find out what exactly is going on, what the characteristics look like up close. So in this situation, we're looking at Phytophthora stem and root rot, late season. These beans are R2 full bloom. Following a really dry and hot period this summer of 5 weeks with no rain, a lot of 100+ degree days. We have got some rainfall, several heavy rains, a 4-inch rain, and then a week later we got 1.5 inches again with those 90 to 100, 110 degree days, and we're starting to see some death occur in the field. You'll most likely see Phytophthora root and stem rot in areas that have been compacted. Here, this is along the end rows of a field where trucks are parked, so there's some compaction. Low-lying areas where water is going to sit and pond with high temperatures, that's where we're going to see it the most. It can infect the plant at multiple times throughout the growing season. Early, it can cause seedling rot, it can cause mid-season issues. Here we're seeing late season. So if we actually bend down, the first thing that stands out, we're seeing dead plants, obviously. We are seeing dead leaves with the petiole still attached. So what that means is after the leaf dies, it's staying attached to the plant. When we look down at the base of the plant, we're seeing discoloration on the stem. So if we actually pull that out of the ground, we can see that stem rot working its way from the soil surface up the plant. A lot of times this can be confused with stem canker. When you see stem canker, you'll actually see it infect at the petiole and work its way up. So it will just be a small section of discoloration working its way up the plant, whereas Phytophthora stem and root rot will be from the soil surface moving all the way up. And what it does, it girdles the plant. So with this stem rot coming up, it's girdling the stem, it's restricting nutrient and water flow up the plant. That's why it's dying. And you're starting to see the plant wilt and it die. So how that happens, the fungus actually stays on soybean residue on the soil. Whenever we have soil temperatures above 60 degrees and we have moisture, that pathogen can germinate and create oospores. So what that is, that's a fungus that can swim in water. So once we get that sitting water, those oospores can move around and it infects through the roots. So it will infect the roots, and that's why we see it work its way up the plant as it starts to cause death. But if you're seeing any kind of issues driving along or getting out in the field, as you're walking through, you're starting to see some death, make sure you're getting down and investigating what's going on. If you are seeing death like this, see how far up the plant you're seeing restriction. So we know this plant is going to die. It's restricting the plant coming up all the way. So everything above here is not going to be getting nutrients or water. If it's stem canker, then it will be restricting the plant from the point of origin up. But in this case, we will start to see full plant death. And as you can see, there are several spots here in the field. At harvest, we're going to see bare spots as these plants die.